Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's been a good day today.
It's been a good day. Are you all set for Christmas?
I think so. Yes, I think so. We've got a couple of things to buy, but our families are doing Secret Santa this year, so that is a result for the books, mate.
Yes, mate. I think we're pretty much good to go as well.
Oh, are you?
I think so. I need to get 2 more presents, and I'm donezo.
Great. Have you started wrapping the presents?
I was going to say,
actually wrapping.
I've got an illustrious wrap career. What are you talking about? No, not yet.
Okay.
But I can't say this because my missus doesn't listen to the podcast. Shame on you. But this my wrapping paper game this year has stepped it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's covered in sharks, right? And it says on it Santa Jaws.
Wow.
What can I say?
I mean, there's nothing you can say. Yep.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yep. For
Yep.
realsies, that's a good win.
Thank you, Asda.
Right.
Other supermarkets are available.
Noted. I think I'll go and get some.
Just steal my thunder.
So, sorry. I saw a jumper in Tesco that said Banta Claus,
Oh, nice.
and I immediately thought of Nathan Meadows. He works at PMT in Romford, and he went to the Zildjian factory with Jake and I, and his banter game is sensational.
You went to the Zildjian factory? You
Did
should have
I-
said,
did I
Chris.
tell you?
You've never mentioned this before.
Wow.
Do tell.
No thanks. I think I'll just keep it all to myself.
Okay.
Why are we here?
Why
I got you right as you were taking a drink of juice. Ha 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 ha.
Oh, hold on.
I think we're going to do with this one. We're going to do an annual roundup of the year.
Yes, because although we've not been running the podcast for a year, we've been running a shop for more than a year, more than 13 years.
Yes.
I haven't. You have.
Yeah. Or yeah. Aye. So yeah, it's been quite an eventful one for us.
It's. I would say, I've only been here for a year, but it's.
Man, that fries my brain.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Well, like, what is it? 16 months.
So I started in the 1st of August 2018.
So yeah, that's about 16 months or so.
Mm-hmm. That's scary, isn't it?
It's crazy because it feels like you've been here forever.
Oh, that's nice.
It is.
Oh, that's
it's
dead
good,
cute.
man.
I'm gonna get you a Santa Jaws wrapping paper present.
Brilliant. It feels just like it's cool. It's good.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So it is.
I've said this to you before, man, and those of you that don't work in the shop won't know this, but when Adam's not here, when Adam has a day off, Hulk said,
This is a pure bromance moment.
well, it's just there's a different vibe. It's not a bad vibe. It's just like we don't get to joke about silly things like we do pretty much all day every day.
True.
4 or 5 days a week, we just talk absolute nonsense all day, and then maybe serve some customers and take some photos.
Yeah. I mean, some would say that's to the detriment of the shop. That we're just like, have you seen this video? It's brilliant.
But then people come in and there's like laughing and joking atmosphere, and it's all good. And
yeah, true.
you know what I'm saying? It's not like we don't do any work.
True.
You know. So what happened this year, man?
What happened this year, Chris? Quite a lot. I think. I mean, we'd be doing ourselves a disservice, I believe, if we didn't mention right up top that we now have more than one shop.
You know what I mean?
Know what I'm saying?
That was that was an event, to say the least.
To say the least, very much so. It was an event.
It
kind of came out of nowhere. When did you find out that we were opening a second shop? I'm curious about this. I'm interviewing you now.
Maybe if memory serves, the top of the year.
So like January.
Yeah. Aye.
That's mental.
Yep.
I found out probably start of February, I think.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, I think that's when we actually got the place.
Is that when it was actually?
So, and started work on it, I think. I know that certainly Gail and I were away in April, and on the way home we stopped off.
That's right. Yeah. Did Gail not help build some kits that day as well?
Oh, she's done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was later.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, she chipped in. Has no fear. Knows how to build drums.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I found out at the top of the year. I remember Paul asking who I think if I was to guess who was going to be running the shop, and I picked Jake out straight away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew straight away.
Yeah. I guess for people who are listening and maybe don't know, we have 2 stores.
Yes, we do.
We have a shop in Glasgow and we have a shop in Leeds.
Mhm.
And Leeds is run by Mr. Jakes Brooksbank.
Jakes Brooksbank.
Jakes Bank.
He's a great fella, legend, and he's doing a smashing job down there. And he's been in the industry quite a long time now. He's got quite a storied career. He worked for PMT, I'm sure, and then he was a sales rep for a while, and then he went to work for Gear for Music as the drum buyer, and now he works for us, running the branch.
Yes.
Um,
He's a badass.
yeah, he's very, very good, very talented. He's brought us. I mean, he got brands like SJC are in the shop now because of Jake.
Yeah.
He has some great insight, and yeah, he's just a pleasure to have with us. He's a good dude.
And he really knows his stuff as
He
well.
really does, and he's got a good bunch of staff working for him now.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 of them all down there.
Do you remember the days of yore when we would go up and down almost on a weekly basis?
Yes,
Leeds?
I do.
Yeah.
I passed my driving test on the Thursday in April, and on the Monday was driving to Leeds.
So this is you hadn't even been on a motorway at this point, had you?
Oh no, I'd done like the M77 and the M8.
Right. Okay.
Like the day I passed my test, I made sure I'd like joined a motorway
Yeah.
at 70 mile an hour just so that I didn't have to freak out about doing the M6.
Totally. That's I still can't quite get my head around that. That's badass, bro.
Yeah, you just kind of just get it done. Actually, what was a tougher drive was the bloody A66. That road's horrendous.
Oh yeah, totally. I'm actually a bit concerned about driving that in the winter, and I don't know how everyone else deals with it.
Paul did it last year. I'm sure he did it. He was going up and down in the January, February.
Oh, so have I got that right? So he was going down. Obviously, would have to long
Aye.
before it was
Long
announced
before
to the rest
time.
of us. Yeah.
Yeah, he was up and down, and doing it in the fog and the snow and the ice. And I drove it home. The first time I drove it home, I only had one headlight. I didn't realise a headlight had gone out,
No way.
so that was pretty bad.
Oh, that happened to me as well at one point.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So yeah, that was like the real sort of, that was a huge thing for us, man.
Yeah, and I feel like almost in a way we kind of overlooked it a lot because it was like if you weren't in the shop environment, like obviously it's a huge deal, but if you are in the shop environment, it's just like, well, yeah, of course. Like this is what are you doing today? Oh, driving down to Leeds. You know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Because like when I talk to people about it, they're like, man, you went to Leeds today and you went there and back and did a shift. I'm like, yeah, did I?
Yeah,
And it's kind of like, okay, cool. That I just, what made it more mental is when I moved house. Because
oh yeah,
all of a sudden I had to leave the house at 5:30 a.m. and not 6.
yeah.
And half an hour makes a huge difference at 5:30 in the morning.
It does, yeah.
Um,
That's when I need to leave as well.
aye.
5:30.
But I had I was a kick in the backside off the M74 entrance.
Mm-hmm.
So it made that it was like a 5-minute drive from my front door to the M74.
Yeah.
At that time, the longest part of your journey is being stuck in traffic lights
Mm-hmm.
because there's not even any traffic at that time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You don't really hit traffic till you get to Leeds.
that's true. Actually, when you get on the is it the
M1.
M1,
Mhm.
yeah,
That's when you really, because once you come over
Scotch
the A66, Scotch Corner, you don't see any traffic before that.
yeah.
It's kind of
Unless on the A66 you get stuck behind a tractor. True story. That's brutal.
I'll bet it is, man.
That happened apparently to when Craig Reynolds came up and did his clinic this year.
Right.
When him and Joe were going back,
Uh-huh.
they got stuck behind a tractor.
Oh man, rough. And it's not the road you want to overtake on.
No,
No.
no. Because there's like average speed cameras and everything on it. Like they just rinse you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a tough one.
it's a tough one. But what wasn't, I guess, tough was dealing with the fact that we now have 2 shops.
Yeah, and what I liked about what was really lovely from a shop point of view is that we kind of got to design it the way we wanted because of the shape of it.
Mhm.
It was just a big square, so you could kind of do what you want and do some cool aesthetics. The symbol
Yeah.
lights and all that people talk about and stuff.
Mhm.
Whereas Commerce Street, before we moved to here, Commerce Street was just a big sausage. It's a big tube, man. You can't do it with a big cylindrical roof. You can't do anything with it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it was kind of nice to see it take shape.
yeah.
And if
totally.
anybody that listens to this has been in the shop, things like the pedal shelves
Mhm.
are great. That was all new to us and how we did all that, and having a goods in entrance for the first time really meant that we needed one for Glasgow.
Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, and maybe I might be wrong about this, but I think Leeds was like a way of, like, if we could do Glasgow again but better. Before, obviously this was before we decided to move the Glasgow shop, but I think Leeds is certainly like, if we could reshape Glasgow, how would we do it?
Yeah, I think
probably
so.
something like this, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we did, you know.
Yeah.
And finding the right staff, I think we got the team right down there.
Yeah.
It's tough to find staff down in another country.
Yeah.
When you don't know anyone, and
yeah, and I guess the hardest bit as well is, and perhaps maybe naively, we thought we could use the history of Glasgow here, as a way of, like, oh, this is brilliant, they've now got a shop in Leeds. But well, I guess what we very quickly learned was that, like, history doesn't really mean anything when you've not got anything down there to back it up, really.
Yeah, that's a whole...
We're just a whole new shop down there.
A whole other city, and, you know, I think when you realise that we see new customers every day,
yeah,
then, like, literally everyone's new in Leeds.
Yeah, exactly. Which is quite, in a weird way, it's quite refreshing.
Oh, aye, massive, yeah, for sure.
Feels like your first day at school again.
Yeah, and new relationships with people and getting to know what people play and all that stuff is pretty rad.
It's really cool, man. It's really cool. I like it. I always like, especially in the early days of Leeds, like, I used to really like it a lot because it was like, man, it feels like you're going on holiday a little bit because you're travelling obviously for a while.
Ah, yeah, for sure.
And then you get there and then, like, the shop all, like, looks great. Not to take away from how Glasgow looks, because now Glasgow looks amazing, but certainly down there when you first walk in the door, it is that jaw drop factor of, whoa,
yeah,
like,
man. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
And it's it was quite bizarre at first, actually, and this is going to sound really weird, but hearing English voices like answer the phone saying drummers only Leeds, you know, like, it was quite bizarre, but cool.
Yeah, amazing. And I mean, my experience down there, I've seen people come in the door. I've seen regular Glasgow customers come and say hello while I've been in, which has been amazing. But I've also seen people drive from, like, Carlisle.
Yeah.
So that's like the equivalent, I guess, of driving from Dundee
down to Glasgow.
Like, wow, okay, cool. So we're the catchment area is quite wide.
Yeah.
You know, so which is one of the what's the word I want? Reasons for opening.
Yeah.
You know, that such a big catchment area of drummers that didn't have an independent shop to serve them.
And the guys down there are great. Like,
because
obviously we've Jake, we've now got Katie, we've got Bryn, we've got Jack now as well.
Yeah. And
all the guys down there are brilliant.
Yeah, and they all have different reasons for playing the drums and different experience and different things to bring to the shop, which is great, you know. So shout out to all our lovely Leeds staff.
Yes.
Thank you.
We need to get at least Jake on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, I'd love to do one remote, just go down. Like, just go. I wouldn't do one on the phone.
No.
Or
we've
Skype.
actually been asked that before. We would asked if we would do a Skype podcast.
They never sound great.
Yeah, I think the balance of that, certainly in my experience, is really tough to nail.
Yeah, every time I hear one and, like, it gets all glitchy and like, if the connection goes a bit weird, I just never like them.
Yeah,
I much prefer a just live face to face. Yeah, it's just. So yeah, we should do one. The next time Jake is up for a managers meeting or something, we
should just pin him down.
Yeah, and just try and,
because then people can see how much he sometimes bullies me.
Yeah, it's every day.
I'm only joking. I love you, Jake.
So that was a big deal. What else did we do?
Well, obviously we moved the Glasgow branch.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, that also goes without saying.
Yeah.
Which, again, when you think about that, like, it's weird starting the year in one shop and, like, finishing it in another.
It's bonkers.
I mean, you'll probably feel it more than I will because you were in Commerce Street far longer than I was. You know, obviously I came in as a customer, but, like, you were kind of pretty much on that street from day one.
Yeah, aye. It's great. I mean, the benefits outweigh any hassle that it was to move or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
And to be fair to the team, and they really pulled together something amazing. We moved the shop in a day.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it took time. Like, let's not get it twisted. It was built over the course of 6 weeks, and stuff got moved over gradually. Like deliveries started changing and that kind of thing. And it wasn't like we moved literally everything in one day, but we moved the shop in a day.
Yeah, like effectively, like literally took stock from one place and put it in another place and set it up.
Yeah, we closed for one day. I mean, we closed on the Friday. We opened on the Saturday, but on the Thursday, I dealt with a customer from Leeds. He came up, so he was in the shop for 4 hours. So you guys were trying to move stuff around a man short.
Packed drums, yeah. Totally.
And, so there was it's a pretty amazing job got pulled off in order to make it operational so quickly.
Yeah, totally.
And I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love being here. It's great.
Do you know what I've noticed about it? And this might sound weird, but it's the surrounding area is so quiet.
Oh, it's great.
Because in the city centre, you just hear buses, taxis, some questionable people shouting various things.
Well, you get all the trappings of a city centre.
Yeah, totally.
But I think
it's like we've moved out to the suburbs.
Totally. Well, yeah, effectively, I did this year. But,
totally.
Yeah, and it's just so much more comfortable. We can park the car outside. We don't. It doesn't cost us an arm and a leg to park.
For those who didn't know, and perhaps if you're a customer of the shop, you'll obviously know the difficulty of parking that was Commerce Street.
Yeah.
It was the exact same for us as well. It was a total nightmare for us as staff members.
Yeah, like $5 a day to park in the subway station.
Yeah, me and Chris had to park in. There's a subway station called Shield Road in Glasgow, and it's a big they've got a big multi-storey car park. Yeah,
it's a parking ride. You park there in subway into town.
Yeah, totally. So it's great. Obviously, if you need to park there for a day and use the subway to get about, don't want to navigate parking in Glasgow. But for us, it was like nearly £6 a day.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're working 5 or 6 days a week, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, they had an offer where you could pay like £50 a month, but we'd also have to walk like 10 minutes. From the subway station, because there was one round the corner that we could never ever get parked in, because we open at 10. We would get to work at like 9, half 9. You're not getting a space at 9 a.m.
No chance.
So yeah, it's like 10-minute walk in the rain and all that patter,
So you guys as customers would obviously appreciate that anyway, but it was the exact same for us. So I think knowing that when you leave your house in the morning and you can get parked at your work, and also knowing that customers can come and get parked, because let's be honest, let's not beat about the bush. Like a drum shop, like parking is pretty much essential, because otherwise you're holding up the road trying to load in your new drums, and then you're rushing, and then supposing you drop one,
and even just $4.40 for an hour in the city centre.
Oh, it's madness. It's total madness.
So it just makes everybody's visit here a lot nicer.
Yeah,
you're not thinking about, I've only got 15 minutes in the meter, and because I only had £1 in my pocket, or any of that stuff,
I think the only kind of complaint we've had is literally that we're just a little bit further out. But
but
very quickly outweighed by the fact, well, at least you can park.
Yeah, totally. For me, it's like 5 more junctions.
Yeah.
So that, which outweighs having to pay for parking and walk 10 minutes to work, because by the time I've done all that, I'm at work at the same time.
Totally.
I just keep driving. So yeah, but aesthetically, I think the place looks amazing.
Oh, it looks. Obviously, it's still getting worked on as we speak.
Yeah, if you hear weirdness over this, Gordon is doing some work downstairs. So
Gordon bought a nail gun.
Yeah. So if the microphones are quite sensitive, so if it picks up anything like that, that's what's going on.
Don't freak out.
But yeah, it's much more comfortable. It's brighter. It's bigger. It's cleaner.
It doesn't feel like I've caught you saying this to customers a few times, and I'm just going to steal it off you because I think it's great, but it doesn't feel like everything's on top of you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Ironically, there's a mezzanine where stuff literally is on top of you, but like it doesn't feel like you're crowded like the old shop did.
Yeah, because we've got more width and more height here, so it felt like drums were actually literally towering over you and tripping over stuff, and now things can be spaced out, and we've got more gear in here, but it still feels more spacious.
Yeah, totally.
Which is amazing.
It's wild. Because we had someone come in today actually who was like, have you got just as much stuff as you did? And it's like, well, no, we've got more.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it.
No, it does not.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. So that's been like the biggest thing for Glasgow. And I hope that, you get to come and see it if you're listening to this. I know like not everybody's managed to make it because we've literally only, this will be Christmas Eve you listen to this, or after Christmas. But it's the week before right now, so I know that in the 4 weeks we've been here, not everybody has managed to make it over and all that kind of stuff. But you know, if you can get over, I think you'll be surprised by how awesome it is
and how easy it is to get here as well.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not laying claim to it. It was done by some very skilled people put it together.
Totally.
You know, so yeah, but it looks great, and hopefully it feels great for you
Yes.
coming in.
I personally can't wait till we first hold a clinic in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of segue.
Well, that sounds like you're going to announce one.
All right. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not. Sorry. But we did do some pretty killer ones this year, though.
We did a lot of clinics this year. We were really Mino heavy this year.
Really Mino heavy, which isn't a bad thing, of course,
No.
because Mino brings some amazing artists,
Yeah.
such as
You've got the list, bro.
Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
Boom.
Yep.
Craig Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds.
Benny Greb.
Benny Gray. Well, that was
Matt
Sonar,
Garska.
wasn't it?
Oh, that was, yeah, you're right. But he still plays
Yeah,
Mino.
he still plays Mino.
Matt Garska.
Yep.
Luke Holland.
Yep.
That's it.
Is that the Mino clinics?
Well, Matt Halpern.
Matt Halper.
Evans brought him here, though.
Yeah.
Um,
Federico Polovic. But we kicked the year off with the immeasurable Steve Smith.
Yep.
Which,
that feels like so long ago.
I know, right?
It was February. I
It was
think.
February. Steve was an amazing get.
How did you find speaking to Steve? Like,
Well, he's American, so anyone who's American doesn't understand anything I say. So I had to speak really slowly.
dude, sometimes I don't understand what you say.
So I had to speak really slowly, but no, he's great. I mean, he's on another level of good.
Mm-hmm.
So just talking to him about anything drummy is kind of like talking to Gordon Ramsay about chicken. Do you know what I mean? About cooking chicken.
Please explain.
Well, the guy knows every nuance of it.
Right.
I
Okay.
throw it in the oven. Or a grill. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
getting at? Like, he knows nuance on how to cook every sort of part of a chicken,
Yeah.
you know, or pork belly or something. Steve Smith's technique is off the scale. Like,
It's bonkers.
and the guy's achieved more over his life than most drummers will,
Yeah.
you know. However you feel about it, he recorded Don't Stop Believing.
Which I was quite shocked actually that he played, because I didn't think he was going to play it. I was half expecting someone in the crowd to be like, "Yeah,
Uh-huh.
play Don't Stop Believing."
I think
You know what I mean?
he just knows, man. He just like knock out the hits.
Yeah.
But
It was great as well because there was kids in the crowd who were
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, no way!" Like
Yeah,
as soon
yeah.
as they started playing that, their minds were blown.
and it's tough to play properly because you play it left hand lead and all the ride bell stuff that's going on. I love how he broke it down and all that. It was great. And he's just if you look at Steve's playing, if you're a jazzer, he knows so much about all of that stuff because he's studied so many players. So for me, it's kind of bonkers to talk to him because
yeah.
I like a lot of that stuff, you know. So yeah, just a real treat, man. You know, and there was I think people had some genuine fanboy moments that night.
Oh, totally.
You know,
Totally.
getting to meet him and hang out. Unfortunately, I couldn't hang afterwards. I think you guys went out. I think Paul went out for a beer
Paul went out for a beer with Steve, I think. Yeah.
and said
Yeah.
it was great. You know. So yeah, like these guys, they at that level, they don't really have anything to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Not that most of the clinicians we put on do, but it just means that they kind of have a different kind of fun.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
yeah.
and he's done that many now that he's pro at it.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
like second nature to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an amazing teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing at breaking down and passing on knowledge.
Yeah.
He really knows how to do that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a real treat.
You kind of got to see why guys like Todd Zuckerman
Yeah.
look up to this guy, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like, wow,
Yeah.
he's just another level.
Yeah, very, very, very talented man. And I love his honesty about, you know, like, he was talking about things like when he plays with Journey, if he plays a big stadium, he just played the drums like he does on a clinic,
Mm-hmm.
because he realises that if he hits them any harder, it doesn't make any difference. Because he's in an outdoor arena, so he just lets the engineer do it all, and he just plays like he plays,
Yeah,
you know. Wisdom comes with experience, you know.
true.
So yeah, that was
He's like
amazing.
a Jedi.
Yeah, a little
Jedi
bit.
Master.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, he didn't get my name right. I think he called me Chess or something at first because I speak too quickly. But we got there.
Checkmate. Sorry. But then after that we had Mike Johnson, who's like another level of teacher.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like, brilliant.
Was that March?
That was March, the end of March. Oh no, was it? No, end of March, yeah. No, don't know. No, don't know. I'm gonna move away.
He was Tiz was. He's amazing.
He was one of my favourite hangs, I think. Not to take away from anyone else, but he was great. He was absolutely brilliant.
I never got to hang.
Boo-hoo.
I know.
Sad
you
for
never
you.
got to see the clinic. So.
I never. That was the catch-22 of that one.
Yeah, he was great, man. Great. And every bit, the sort of the comedian and all that you see on the internet, you know, you realise very quickly that it's literally just the same. He's just the same guy. It's not an act or anything like
With
that.
a few more swear words.
Yeah,
thrown in.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, sensational.
Yeah. He was cool. He really... He kind of got a lot of the guys in here out their shell a bit, I think. When he was speaking to them at dinner.
Right.
Just like really getting them to open up about like drums, which is bizarrely, you wouldn't think we would have a lot of you would think we would have a lot of conversations about that in here, but we don't really. Like, usually we just shoot the shit a little bit
Between staff, you mean?
Yeah, like between
right,
staff,
okay.
like we don't usually I think it's quite rare for us as staff to actually talk about like how we feel about our playing and drumming and all that. I think anyway.
Well, usually we're too busy.
Yeah, that as well.
So I'm scaling through our Instagram looking for the date.
For the day, is it that pressing?
I just want to get it right.
I need to know.
Pretty much. March the 30th, you were right.
Boom.
So, there you go. So yeah, Mike was amazing. Really, really great guy.
He still keeps in touch with the shop.
He does, aye. And he played sensationally.
Mm-hmm.
He played really well, and I loved the Man in the Moon stuff he did. You know, the band, his band. Man in the Moon.
Yeah.
That was great. Just generally all round amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
What was he using on that clinic? Do you remember?
He used a Brooklyn 2012-14 and a matching snare, I'm sure. He used a DW 5000, and then he used the new Meinl, what are they called again?
Foundry Reserve.
Thank you. Hi-hats. His signature ride, and I think a special dry crash, or extra dry crash rather. And I can't remember the other one. And his Vater sticks before he went to Vic Firth. He was still playing Vater at the time. And
Aquarian heads as well.
Yeah. Kit sounded amazing. It felt great to play. He let us all play his kit, which was cool. It felt great to play. Yeah, aye. Just simple one up, one down.
Yep. No frills.
No frills, nothing like that. And just made it sound amazing.
Yeah.
So
He's a boss.
totally.
Total boss. And his cowbell, he was playing the prototype of his cowbell, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And it's just come out actually. But yeah, he was.
I think we may have accidentally leaked it on a live video.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, by accident. Yeah.
When?
Like the day before the clinic. It was the night, because it was a Friday night, wasn't it? Like the night before the clinic, because the clinic was a Saturday.
That's right.
Poor Joe, I kind of put him on the spot because he had the cowbell in his hand,
Right.
and then it wasn't until after we'd put it on the live video and he went through it all that after I'd kind of switched the red light off, he was like, I don't know if we were supposed to talk about that or not.
Magic.
And I was like, right.
Oh well.
We'll fix it in post. It's fine.
Yeah.
So wait, wasn't that live? Oh yeah. Oh.
Done.
Sorry, Joe.
We don't remember we gave away a competition. He did a year of free lessons.
He did, yeah, that's right. Oh my god. Wow, forgot all about that.
Yeah. What a prize, man.
I know.
What a get.
It was because we actually, when we had him at dinner, we were talking about things we could do for socials wise, and he just like didn't even think about it. He was just like, "How about I give away a year of my lessons?" Like,
mental. A year subscription.
As if it was like no big deal. Like, okay, can I get on that?
Yeah, totally. Can I win it?
Mike.
If you're listening, Mike.
I would. I really like that. I would love to get a year of of free listens. Thanks.
But what a prize. Just crazy.
What a dude.
Yeah.
What a dude. Speaking of dudes, that was dudes. What's up, dude? Matt Halpern and Federico Pavlovich.
Oh, God, yeah. Aye.
So they were the first clinic to be held in Leeds, believe it or not.
That's correct.
Yes, they were.
The night before Glasgow.
The night before Glasgow. So me and Gordon, we drove down on this Friday?
Thursday, because it was a Saturday night in Glasgow.
So the clinic was a Friday
Yeah.
in Leeds, that's right. Me and Gordon went down to the venue, Iger Studios.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And they were great. Like, they put on a really great show. Obviously, it was the first clinic for drummers only Leeds, and it was a great turnout. Craig Reynolds was there as well. That was the first time I met Craig.
Really?
Craig turned up.
I had no idea.
I think it was, he did a podcast with Matt, and I don't know if it was related, whether he got him while he was in town, because Joe from Mino was there, and he brought, did he bring Craig? I think he brought Craig, because the following week was the Leeds opening day,
right,
where Craig played.
Uh-huh.
But Craig was there. Craig was,
Oh, wow, that's
was
great.
a paying guest
That's
to
amazing.
the clinic, so there you go. Did you not know that?
I didn't
I'm sure
know
I told you that.
No, I didn't know.
Um,
You maybe did. It doesn't mean I listened.
oh, right, yeah,
Sorry.
you do that quite a lot, yeah. Sometimes I look at you and I can just see you listening to the ocean.
It's because I've got a shell up in my ear.
Oh, okay.
Two very different players, eh?
Mm.
Federico
different.
was like ridiculous, man.
Yeah. See all the stuff he was doing with the click track?
Yeah.
Insanity.
Yeah, I think most people got about 8 bars of knowledge out of that, and then was like, don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Just bonkers.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
He was great. He was a really cool guy as well.
Yeah.
And then Matt, of course. Matt blew it out of the water. He had possibly, up until we heard Craig's bell brass Tama snare,
Jings how.
Matt had the loudest snare drum I think I'd ever heard.
Was that a reference brass?
It was a reference. It was I think his was a bell brass as well. I'm sure it was.
Crazy loud.
It was really heavy as well.
Yeah, it was.
Like, because after the clinic, Matt and Federico were doing like photos and all that. Me and Gordon were trying to frantically pack down the PA. The PA.
Was this on the Thursday?
Was it a Thursday?
Sorry, Friday.
Friday, yeah, because we had to drive back up the road after the clinic, and I went to pick up Matt's snare drum because we were tore down his drums obviously, and I went to pick it up and I almost dropped it because I took the weight of it off the stand and just got instantly thrown back down to the floor because I was like, oh man, this is heavy.
Mental.
Mentoids.
Yeah. And then you had to drive home.
We had to drive home. We spoke a lot about Game of Thrones at that point because Game of Thrones
Weren't
was.
you playing on the Saturday night as well?
I was playing on the Saturday night and I think I was in Aberdeen.
No.
I think I was in Aberdeen the following day, yeah. I felt worse for Gordon because Gordon obviously came back up the road and then he was working the next day, so at least I got to sleep
Then
till
did the
like,
clinic?
and then did the clinic at night, yeah. So at least I got to sleep it off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I remember I got back home at like 4 a.m. and yeah. I don't even think me and Gordon said bye to each other. Not in a bad way, but we were just so tired. We were just like, I was like, right, thanks, Gordon. He was like, you're very welcome. Bye. Oh no, we did say bye, but it was a very sleepy bye.
Yeah, that'd have been a shift.
Yeah, that was. But it was worth it though because obviously the clinic went really well, and then
I felt really sorry for Matt the next night because the one thing we learned about the Drygate, which was the venue that we held it in, is that the bar stays open on a Saturday night and they get to make as much noise as they want, and Matt was trying to talk to a clinic audience without a microphone because he decided to not use the microphone. So like, can everybody hear me? And they were all like, yeah. And then the DJ started next door.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was rough, man.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Because obviously I missed the Glasgow clinic that night, but how did it go?
It went really well, man. It was long.
Yeah.
They did like an hour and 15 minutes each and then had a question and answer session.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think it was, it was a bit of a shift.
Mm-hmm.
They could have maybe, like, just for audience's sake, chopped like 30 minutes off, did an hour each, and, then questions. But they got a really attentive audience, especially Matt. There was a lot of fans there, Periphery fans could come down and get, nerding out, bro.
Yeah, totally.
Which was obviously what you want. That's great, a great audience for the guy. So yeah, it was good. Different. Matt spoke a lot rather than played. So Fed played loads and Matt talked loads.
Yeah.
and that's not a slight. That's just how it went.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Totally.
So it was good, different, but good.
Yeah. And I think it was a great one to kick off for Leeds as well,
Yeah,
because it was literally two different sides of the spectrum
right. Okay.
on the same night.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, for
with
sure.
Feds and Matt both being very different players.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, big time.
But it was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And yeah, Matt had some good chat about, like, he's really into doing things like just changing his kit.
Yeah, he kept changing his kit on that clinic tour.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Like,
He's really into it, just to see how he plays and what it brings out and all that.
yeah,
You know, so that he's not stuck playing the same fill-ins and things. You know,
Mhm.
so he'll do, like, I remember for the longest time I thought he just played a floor tom, a bass drum, snare drum.
mm-hmm.
But he'll sometimes play a 6-piece kit, or then he'll
Mhm.
play just a 2-piece kit, or,
Yeah.
you know, so that
I'm
He's-
sure he dropped down to a floor tom, snare drum, and bass drum a couple of nights after the Glasgow clinic.
right.
I'm sure he did, because it was still like the tour was still going on. at
Yeah,
that
that's
point.
right. They went to Europe, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't see any photos, but yeah. So I mean, it reminded me of being a kid, because I did things like that when I was younger. You know, just
Mhm.
you know, I would turn the kit, put the floor tom to the left and things. You know, and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Do you still experiment with your drums now, like
Well,
setup wise?
No, I don't.
No,
It's all pretty
can't be
standard.
bothered. Or
I just don't have a practice facility, and if I'm playing, I don't really have time, and I'm not necessarily being creative, so I don't want to make things wonky for the band.
right, okay,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
turn
In
up.
case you try a fill that doesn't quite work and it throws the
Yeah,
band off or something.
Yeah, and it's just much easier if I don't.
Yeah. Don't do that.
me, I'll be honest, right?
Oh, am I that boring, Chris?
Totally.
Oh.
No, do you do it?
Sometimes. I do it depending on the space.
Right.
So like currently I use my Breakbeats kit
Uh-huh.
anyway, which is pretty small to begin with. But I had to do a wedding midsummer, where it was like, I can't remember the name of the venue, but we were basically playing in about the same proximity as a postage stamp. So,
Okay, sounds great.
Oh, it was phenomenal. So I literally had just like bass drum, snare drum,
Yeah.
hi-hats and ride. That
Yeah,
was all
I did
had.
that. I mean, I did one up. I did none up, one down for a while.
None up, one down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
That's what I currently do. I have floor tom, bass drum, snare drum,
Right.
cymbals.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, playing those gigs, you don't really need more than that. You know,
not really.
So yeah, no, I don't really mess with it. No, I just one up, one down, away we go.
Would you go, if you could design your ideal setup, or would you say in your mind that you've got your ideal setup now, or
I think it would be relative to the music.
right? That was a very conservative.
No,
answer.
I'm being I'm being serious. Although though, I did go through it. I sat in a rehearsal room earlier in the year, and 10, 12, 14 was up, and I just left it, and it was lots of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll put a 10 in at some point.
Yeah. Did you feel like your playing changed a lot?
Not a lot, but it was easier to do certain things, and
Right. Okay.
yeah, things like that. And I found myself playing like melodic fill-ins as opposed to just the same thing all the time.
Do
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah. So no, I mean I wouldn't rule it out, but right now I've got a baby in the way as well, so spending money on drums is kind of not
Yeah.
really a priority.
It's like you've got a 10-inch tom, but you now can't eat for the rest of the month.
kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, and I need to buy a pram,
Yeah.
so
Those ain't cheap.
no, and a happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
No, seriously though, like I bought a snare drum recently, but I did sell one as well, so you know.
See, so technically you didn't
No,
really.
it cost me 20 quid in shipping,
There you go.
you know, but yes, I'm still into it. I mean, I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, I never want to do that, I hate drums. I don't hate drums, I love drums, but right now I don't really need to change it, you know.
Yeah.
I actually prefer changing cymbals more.
So, what's your kind of cymbal rig for like a wedding?
So lately I've been playing all Istanbul Agops,
Right.
so 14-inch traditional medium hi-hats, an 18-inch Jazz Crash, a 20-inch traditional originals ride, and then I'll change the crash on the right to either be a 17-inch traditionals thin or an OM 18.
Okay.
So, and I do that depending on how much space we've got and how loud I need to be, because the OM crash is quieter,
Right. Okay.
and sometimes I've got an existing 20-inch crash as well that sometimes I put up,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe sometimes I put up an 8-inch trash hit as well.
Oh, okay.
which is cool.
What do you use that for? Like in the
Instead of a
session?
splash,
Okay.
you know. So
You had a thing for splashes, eh?
yeah, for a wee while I used to, yeah. But I lost it. I had an HHX 10-inch crash and splash, and it got nicked. So
Oh, a nightmare.
I didn't ever replace it. But yeah, I do like them, you know.
Yeah.
But I prefer them darker. I don't prefer them to be super bright like Manu Katché or something. I'm not really into that sound. But yeah, so that's the main rig. I do have my Sabian cymbals as well that, you know, they're predominantly artisans. So
Do you use those for like recording, or do you use them for?
I have done. I've used mix setups for recording as well, where I've
Mhm.
used like Sabian Hats and Ride and Istanbul Crashes and that kind
Mhm.
of thing. So I would change that up per song,
Right.
that kind of thing. I like doing that.
I suppose we kind of touched on this a few episodes back, but do you find that having gear like having a lot of different options helps in the recording process?
Yeah, but that, I think that depends on the engineer, and it depends how far you've thought it through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the last recordings I had done, the guy whose music is a good mate of mine. He likes it to be really considered ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not into just being like, fuck it, let's try something different. He's just not. It's just not the way
Mm-hmm.
he operates. Like, he has his guitar sound, and
Yeah.
that like doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
The bass sound doesn't change. You know, so everything was really planned out.
Mm-hmm.
We did try a different drum on one track, but it didn't work, and
Yeah.
it genuinely didn't work. It wasn't like, oh, that's different, I don't like it. No, it just didn't. It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wouldn't do it to someone whose band it was, and unless that was greenlit. And then
Mhm.
like, let's try loads of different stuff. And I I absolutely roasted my diary.
How do you mean?
I thought I had 2 days to do drums, and I didn't.
Oh
So
no.
I did 13 tracks in one day.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, rehearsed and some great takes,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't do that again.
No, that's just a level of stress no one needs.
Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah.
And it was through Edinburgh as well, so I was up at the crack of dawn. In fact, I went through the night before. So
Instead.
it's just
Yeah.
so we could get to the studio first thing.
Mhm.
And once it was set, right, we just go.
And just whatever happens kind of thing.
No, because they're all very party songs.
Right. Okay.
So I mean that they're not party songs. They have parts. Party on, we. So yeah, it was considered, but it was brutal.
Yeah.
So we didn't really have time to mess around and be like, let's try a different pair of hi-hats on this one, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I didn't even mess with tuning either.
No, just
Shoot it in, man.
Yep.
Away we go.
I suppose in that time frame, like you've not really got option for much else.
No, and we were also making a Boz-Out rock record,
Yeah.
so it didn't need to be any different. You know, if
Mhm.
we were making like a country thing or a singer-songwriter thing, or some songs were kind of pseudo-electronic, or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if there was different flavours on it, then sure, great. But there wasn't. It was very much a 3-piece rock band,
Yeah.
you know, proper 90s Nirvana.
In your face.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and there's no apologies.
mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we were making. That's the kind of music it was.
Yeah.
So once I had a sound that worked, I mean, I think I had 3 or 4 crashes up, so I had options in terms of crashes, you know.
Yeah.
But pretty much once it was in. Stayed.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, but, you know, I'll change cymbals depending on how I feel. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because I'm not taking out anything bonkers. You know, I'm not taking out Crash of Doom and all that
A
kind of.
full set at A Customs.
Yeah, like, so some days I might be like, I think I want to play Sabians today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm super fortunate that I have tons of gear,
Yeah, totally.
but that's collected over 14 years of working in the drum shop. So,
Mhm.
you know, some of it's been gifts and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Gail bought me my Artisan Ride for graduating, and
Oh wow.
she bought me an Artisan Crash for Christmas once.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that kind of thing. Or I'll change my snare drum, you know, depending on how I feel, or
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But I don't
Mhm.
really mess with what I take out setup wise. Like, it's always 1 up, 1 down.
Mm-hmm.
20, 12, 14,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
Yeah, totally.
I've never really, with my cymbal setup, I've pretty much always like had it all the same.
Right.
really. The only thing I did, I had all Sabian cymbals. I had all AAX.
Okay, like the explosion pack or something.
It was the
Stage set.
No, it was the explosion pack, but it had the accelerator hi-hats.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it had the accelerator hi-hats, 16, 18 explosion crashes, and the 20-inch stage ride.
Right.
Wasn't a fan of the hi-hats, but I just kind of they were better than what I was using before. I was using B8s.
Oh, okay.
So
That's an upgrade then.
mega upgrade,
Yeah.
totally. I love, and I still do love it, the AAX 18-inch explosion crash.
Yeah.
It's just straight up bang, that's a crash symbol.
Yep.
Brilliant. Ride's alright. I mean, I obviously got by with it, but
Was
then
it a stage ride?
it was a stage ride, yeah.
Man, I talked about this before, I think, but in the right context, that ride symbol's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I did a dep early in the year, and I had an artisan ride up. I'd borrowed Liam's cymbals when
Mhm.
Liam was still here, and like 2 tunes in, I swapped out for the stage ride because I just couldn't hear the ride,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed a big clangy bell. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I like totally get you, man.
Yeah.
In the right context, that symbol's magic.
Totally.
You know?
You're totally
Yeah.
right. But then a couple of years ago, when I switched pretty much all my symbols over at Zildjian, I've pretty much just kept it the same.
Right.
Like, the only thing I did was, and perhaps this was naive of me at the time, but I only bought 4 symbols, so obviously the 2 hi-hat symbols. I had the Master Sound hi-hats. I bought an EFX as my only crash,
Oh wow.
and I had the 22 just standard K ride, which
Ah,
I love.
Right.
Like,
I thought you'd bought a pack.
No, I bought them
right.
all as individuals. How I initially what I wanted was 15-inch light hats,
Uh huh.
22 light ride,
Uh huh.
and the EFX is my only crash. That was like I had for some reason I can't even think why I did that. Like I think I was a huge fan of Two Door Cinema Club,
Right.
and Ben, who plays,
Uh huh.
he has an EFX, and I just saw it and I thought that symbol looks cool as
Did your because you bought them before you worked here, right?
yes.
So did your local drum store's member of staff persuade you to buy the correct symbol?
I can neither confirm or deny. Thanks, Liam. Yes, because he was like, which he totally was, because I like the hi hats I've got just now. I love them.
Right.
It's the Master Sound hi hats, 14-inch K Master Sound hi hats, and I love them. I think they're just really versatile.
Right.
Same with the ride symbol. I think the two match each other really
Is
well.
this a regular K ride? Yeah.
Regular 22-inch K ride. I
Oh,
knew
it's a 22, right?
I came in with knowing that I wanted a bigger ride symbol because I
Right.
had the 20. And I was like, I really want a 22. And I had my heart set on the K light ride. And then when I just heard the standard K ride, I was just like, yep, that works for me.
Yeah, the light ride's gorgeous, but it's really thin.
Yeah.
So I think what you would need it to do wouldn't have been the right choice.
Yeah. I feel like I would need to go down the road of putting tape on it. And I don't really want to do that with a 400
okay.
quid ride symbol,
No.
you know. And then, so naively, I bought the 18-inch EFX as my only crash symbol.
Right.
And the way I had my ride set up at the time, I could crash on it.
Uh-huh.
But it wasn't comfortable for me, and I didn't realise until funnily enough, I had a conversation with you
Uh-huh.
about setting up the drums for you and not setting up yourself around the drums.
Yeah.
So like my ride angles all changed now. Anyway, that's a separate conversation. But obviously, the nature of that symbol and EFX, like, it's eventually going to crack
Mhm.
because just of the nature of it. So, and that's obviously if you're only hitting it sporadically. It'll last obviously a lot longer if you're only hitting it sporadically. But if that's like your only crash, obviously it's the only crash you're gonna hit.
Yeah.
So I cracked
Raging.
What a mixed company. That's an inside joke. Anyway, so I cracked it, got it replaced, and then you guys, again before I worked here, you guys had a Tama Zildjian day
Oh yeah.
where you had Dexter Hercules.
That's right. We
playing.
did. It was all the SLP gear, wasn't it?
That's right. Which sounded great. All
Mhm.
of them sounded great because they were all fitted with like variations of Aquarian heads as
That's
well.
right. Yeah.
And that day I knew, because that's also when the K Suite crashes had came out.
It's
And I
still
was like-
amazing.
Yeah, they're awesome. The 19 in particular is bonkers. I don't have one, but because I came in because I wanted to hear how they were, and I had kind of thought, right, I'm just gonna get a straight up crash symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the 18-inch Dark Sun, just
Oh, okay.
again K straight up crash symbol, and I love it.
Right.
I absolutely love it. It's like now in my head that's what a crash symbol sounds like in my head.
Right.
So I love it. So I've I guess to bring everything round to a close, a climax. I've never felt the need to change my setup.
Do
You know?
you still have an EFX?
I do. I now have it off to my right hand side, so it's like it's more of an accent symbol now than the main crash.
I've got an old AAX Ozone, and I might bring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about it now, and I'm like, it's all warped and bent out of shape. It's about 10 years old or something.
I would maintain that they sound better the more trash they are.
I would agree. Yeah.
Jay Hepburn, who plays for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, when funny enough, this time last year when I went and done a rig rundown with him, like I was very cautious of trying not to get the split in his AX Ozone in shot, but out front it sounded immense.
Really?
Like, yeah, it sounded great. I don't know why. It just sounded so good. Like,
Yeah.
obviously in person, like when you're sitting right next to it, I was like, oh, that sounds a bit nasty. But
Bit gnarly.
out front when it's under a microphone, it just sounded like really quite. It was like obviously as a crash symbol, like shh, but it was like a. But
Right.
like, for that symbol, it works.
Wow.
I
Was it
think
HHX or AAX?
it was AAX, I'm sure.
Right. Okay.
Can't remember. Let's go to the tape.
Right.
But yeah, it sounded awesome.
Huh. There you go.
There you go.
I've got a pair. I think I talked about this before. I've got a pair of Istanbul Agop Exist 10-inch Ion hi-hats that have never been out the bag.
Really?
So I've been thinking about, you know how Benny Greb mounts his Crasher thing off the bass drum?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about that because we had some dance tunes to play at the weekend. It's like, these would have been prime for that.
Yeah.
Don't know. Wait and see.
Try it out.
Yeah, I'll need
You
to.
should do it on a gig, at least for the socials. One day.
Yeah, I'll need to.
Do it for the gram.
Totally, mate. I'll need to figure out how to mount them though. You know, because there's that Tama. No pedal. No sonar.
Wow.
Um,
I saw a
cowbell-
complete malfunction happening you there.
there's a cowbell thing that he clamps on the bass drum, but he puts a Tama arm through it
Oh.
because it's thin enough to fit through the hole, but it's long enough for him to mount cymbals off it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hacks.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I might find out. I might try it. Who knows?
Yeah. You
Not
can always
me.
try it, and if you
Yeah,
don't
that's
like it,
Yeah, I'll just
Then
throw
that's
them
it.
in the river or something. No.
just throw it out.
So yeah.
Be gone with you.
But I've been doing a deep dive on Smashing Pumpkins again lately.
Oh, have you?
I have. I've been listening to Siamese Dream in the car every day for like 10 days, like to and from work.
And in work, I'm pretty sure.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And Jimmy uses like Bonkers setup, you know, so it's made me investigate or start to think about investigating how just changing little things,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But we'll wait and see.
Like what? Like
Well, he just splashes and stuff, and like, I don't know, just getting up. He uses a crazy setup. His setup was like 14, 10, 13, 16, 18, 22.
right?
He's a massive kit. I'm not taking a massive kit out. I don't mean it like
Because
that.
Gail sets it up as well. She would hate you.
We wouldn't get it in the car plus the PA.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets different drum sounds. You know, there's like loads of different sounds available to him for
Mhm.
that. So I don't know. I'd maybe take like a side snare out or take some different trigger sounds out or something. You know, just something to dive into it a bit more.
Yeah.
You know.
Over the past year, since this is obviously the topic of the episode, what's been your favourite bit of gear that you've taken out from the shop on a
Ooh.
gig? Because you used to do that loads, remember?
Yeah. It's not anything sexy, but the Tama MC8 hoop grip thing
Oh, that's where you can mount cymbals off it.
off your floor tom and
Mm-hmm.
that's an amazing bit of kit. The hoop grip, it's unreal. So you get the little L rod with the fast. What do you call it? The quick
The
release.
quick mate.
Aye,
Yeah.
quick mate. Aye, thank you.
You're welcome.
And you could put like, I put a cymbal onto my floor tom rather than have a stand. That's
Sweet.
just genius.
Yeah.
And if you got a bunch of them, you could have bar triggers in places where you wouldn't normally have them.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Would that be to go off literally what you were talking about? Could that be another alternative for mounting those little hi hats?
No, because there's no clutch on it.
Oh, of course, right enough. Yeah.
You know, and
Fail.
I wouldn't. A crash is one thing, but a pair of small hats. Well, the weight might be the same. I don't know, but there's no clutch,
Mhm.
so
Right. Okay.
they wouldn't sit on it properly. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be that comfortable. I don't know how sturdy it would be.
Yeah.
I would need to try it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really dig that. you know. And lately I got a Sonar D-Light snare, which is just amazing. I'd wanted one for ages. A customer of ours, Martin Smith, has one, and every time he brings it in the shop I try and steal it from him because it sounds amazing.
It's lovely.
Yeah. So I bought one of those, which is just great.
Yeah.
So yeah, those two things. What about you?
I think for me, what have I got recently? I recently changed my sticks this year.
Right.
I wanted to try out just lighter sticks, so I've like completely migrated over to Vickforth 85As.
How's that working out?
Great. I think I never quite realised until I went back to what I was playing before for a gig, just how heavy my sticks were.
Yeah.
And I think it really affected how I played a lot, because I felt everything was much more difficult with the heavier sticks.
Right.
Whereas with 85A, it just feels like, this sounds cliche as AF, but they felt like just an extension of my hands.
Yeah,
I felt like everything just felt so much easier, and I felt much more relaxed playing.
I did the
as well.
same thing actually. Investigated sticks a wee bit more this year, and Ben at Daddario really helped me out with some different stuff, because I'd been playing 85A.
Yeah.
But I tried ProMark for the first time this year,
Mhm.
and really like them. The 5A and the 85A and Vic, the ProMark 5A and the Vic 85A are like the same size, but the ProMarks felt a little bit more front heavy, which felt nice. So Ben sent me some stuff up to try, and I really like the Rick Latham and the Acid Jazz. They're all the same size as 85A,
right?
but they've got different tips, and the Acid Jazz is slightly longer, so like an extreme 85A, if you like. So yeah, I dig that, man.
Yeah,
I dig that. It's good. It's good chat.
Good. Also, snare weight.
Oh
took
God, yeah.
pure gloss over that for a second. They were great.
They are great. I have a bit of a problem with my hoop, because the hoop on my Snorer vintage Stoner vintage snare.
Stoner?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're having a total, boo.
My Sonar vintage snare is rounded over, so sometimes the snare weight doesn't like it.
Doesn't quite sit on it.
Aye, so I need to find a way and get some blue tack or something to like keep it in
to
place.
hold it in place, yeah.
But it sounds amazing. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, big time. I'm on the snare weight.
I'm on the snare weight. Yep. It's pretty much changed everyone's game.
Aye, totally, man. I was a convert. I was like, nah, this can't be right. This is dead.
Surely not.
This is dead knitted. And then I tried it. I was like, wow, okay. I'll eat humble pie. And I will. Yeah. Excuse me. So I have an M1 and an M80.
Oh, you've dual wielding.
Not on every drum.
Yeah.
The M80's on a brass shell.
Okay. Yeah. I do the same.
Yeah, which just tempers it out a bit. And the M1 is on other drums. So yeah, into it.
So do you put the M1 on your vintage?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't put it on the D-Light because it's got a big die-cast hoop on it.
Right, okay.
The Sonar Hella hoop thing, they're really big. So I would need the big brass lock for that. But yeah, they're brilliant. I want to try them on toms as well.
You should.
I've recently just switched back to Emperors. Benny Greb convinced me, hearing his kit with Emperors on it, because when I got my vintage series I put Emperors on it, and I didn't love it. I felt like the drums felt like the bearing edge was doing too much damping on an already thick head. But I've recently put them back on and they sound amazing. So I don't know what changed.
Just your mindset. Sounds like. Yes.
So that's quite that was a deep dive again into gear.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I think when I get my SQ1, I'm gonna put clear Emperors on it.
Oh my goodness. Breaking the mold. Why?
Breaking the mold. Well, kind of going off Chris Coleman's. To be fair, he uses EC2s, which are essentially like Evans pinstripe, right?
A Remo pinstripe.
Remo.
Yeah. Evans version of a pinstripe. Yeah.
You called Sonar Stoner, and I'm getting called out.
Well, I'm not. Yeah.
Okay.
Shut up.
I'm telling your mum.
Evans pinstripes.
Evans pinstripes. Remo texture coated.
But he also has like a G14 on the bottom.
That's true.
So he has 2 ply on the bottom. Well, thick 1 ply.
But I don't know. I just like the sound of his kit. I think it might be too like with the thick resonant heads. I think that exact sound might be too much for me.
Well, you also play 10, don't you? 10, 14.
Yeah,
I
10.
feel like you would need to tune the 10 quite high.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Just for 2 ply on the bottom as well. I think to get the most out of the drum, the 10 would have to be tuned pretty high.
Yeah. I don't think I would go as heavy-handed as 2 ply on the bottom.
Right.
I would put like an Emperor on the top I
Right.
think. But even then, I think that might be a bit too much.
No, I used
No?
to have a 10 with an Emperor on it.
Oh,
my,
yeah?
My Yamaha kit had a 10.
Okay.
My Recording Custom had a 10. And my Hybrid Maple had a 10. You're fine.
Did you put a coated Emperor on it?
Yeah, I played coated Emperors for years. That was just
Right.
the default.
Right. Okay.
I haven't played Clearheads for a long time.
Mm-hmm. What got me into it was, ironically, the Evans or the Remo pinstripes.
Right.
But I think sometimes pinstripes depends on the drum. I think they can be a bit of a one-trick pony sometimes, and they'll obviously refresh the sound of a kit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for this kit that I'm getting, I want it to be a little bit livelier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be like the ABBA
Yeah,
kit.
totally. I
Do
get
you know what I mean?
Paul recently, in the last year or so, was dealing with a customer who bought a Brooklyn Chrome Over Brass 14 by 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul put a pinstripe on it, and it sounded amazing.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's like bringing back the pinstripe. It just worked. He just tuned it beautifully, and it made the drum sound absolutely mega.
Mm-hmm.
So don't discount them.
Oh, no, not at all. I use pinstripes on what I've got just now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've
Oh,
used
okay.
pinstripes in my Questlove.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. For real.
Brilliant.
And it sounds great.
Have you tried them on your brass snare drum yet?
Pinstripe?
Uh-huh.
No.
Dare to dream.
Dare to be a believer.
Yeah. Be the change we all need.
Be the change. Okay. I might give it a go because I'm working my way through Remo's catalogue, I
Are
suppose.
what are you on?
I'm on Power Stroke 3.
See, that's great as well.
Yeah.
I do endorse that.
Mm-hmm.
But try a pinstripe. You'll be pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
I will publicly eat my hat
If it sounds
Yeah.
like a bin lid.
like a bag of washing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll quite happily say I was wrong.
Okay.
Um,
I'll take it out on a gig and I'll
yeah,
report back.
yeah.
And I'll let you know if I love it or hate it.
Okay.
You'll know very quickly if I love it or hate it because you might have a pinstripe bounce off your head.
Or a text message.
Or with a love heart.
Thanks, bro, but I don't like this.
Thanks, bro. Gail's like, who's texting you with a love heart?
My bro Adam.
Ovs.
Yeah.
Best friend.
You know I've got your name tattooed, don't you?
Tell me your amazing news.
Who else did we have this year, man?
Oh, man. We had, obviously, Benny Greb. Spoke about him.
I mean, yeah. Well, we did a whole episode with Benny, so we did.
I mean, in case you've missed it.
And Craig Reynolds.
We had Matt Garska.
He's great.
Mm-hmm.
What a player he is. That was my introduction to him.
Oh, did you not know anything about him?
No, nothing at all.
Wow.
I know. Totally did my research for the guest artist we had.
Oh, yeah,
Like, well, what did this guy play? He was killing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. He's got the chippity choppities.
He does.
Yeah.
He likes his grub as well.
He does like his fried chicken.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had the only Leeds exclusive clinic of the year with Luke Holland.
Ah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Did you go?
No.
I wasn't sure if you'd gone down and socialed it.
No. Thankfully, Katie was the stand-in socials for
Right.
that event. Her and Jake.
She knows how to do her socials.
She does, yeah. She's very active on the Instagram. But as far as I know, Luke absolutely smashed it.
Smashed it.
Smashed it.
Yeah, he's a boy, yeah. He can play.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any of his videos? Like,
Yeah, one or two, yeah.
phenomenal.
Like the Mino stuff I've watched, the bullet stack videos and all that.
The video that got him famous was, do you know Skrillex?
Yeah.
He had a song called Cinema.
Right.
And basically what got Luke discovered was he'd done a drum cover of that song, but some of the stick tricks he was throwing in were just blowing everyone's mind.
Right.
And that's basically what got him
Wow.
discovered.
There you go.
Who
knew?
Who knew? I knew.
Right, well, yeah, but just like stick tricks being a thing that...
Alright, yeah.
You know.
But it was phenomenal. So obviously from that, he got really famous.
Right.
He joined the band called The World Alive.
Right.
I don't think he plays for them anymore though. But that obviously got him DW and BBFs with Thomas Lang. So there you
He
go.
did Soundbrenner as well, didn't he?
Thomas Lang?
No, Luke Holland.
Luke.
I'm sure he was in the
Maybe.
advert for Soundbrenner.
He may have been. I have to do my research. on
Yeah.
that one, but I don't
I'm
know.
sure he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd have liked to have seen that actually. It'd have been cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been quite cool to just see all those stick tricks in person. I think
Yeah,
it would be quite cool. But I think, as far as I know, he went into a lot of how to kind of market yourself on social media as well. Like, because he's obviously one of the
Premier.
Yeah, like he's one of the ambassadors for it, because obviously that's how he's got a career. So so we had Luke Holland as the only clinic in Leeds, and then we rounded out the year with Mr. Benny Greb, which you all know about. So yeah,
strong clinic year.
Strong clinic year.
Who would you like to see next year?
Oh, we've had this chat before, but Todd Zuckerman.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll
Zuckerman
see what I can do.
Oh, really?
I'll try,
Are you in Todd BBFs?
Well, like genuinely wish each other a happy birthday and all that every year, because
that's cute.
Little known fact, about 10 years ago, 2008 I think, we tried to get Todd. Because he'd just done like Modern Drummer Festival and the DVD came out, and he had just released his DVD, and he was kind of everywhere because he's amazing, and it fell through.
Why did it fall through? Do you remember?
No, I don't really. I need to read back emails and stuff. But anyway, I don't think we could get dates to line up with his touring schedule and all that kind of stuff. But like 6 months later, I get an email for the shop out of the blue from him, being like, "Yo man, I'm playing in Glasgow. I can't get you a ticket because I think Styx's keyboard player, his family are from Glasgow.
Oh, okay.
So they had all the guest list.
Yeah.
But he's like, if you can get yourself to the gig, we can do a meet and greet and we can hang out." Wow. So I got a ticket, and yeah, man, he was like, they were on first. He says, "Give me 5 minutes."
Oh, but they supporting?
Yeah, so it was Styx, Foreigner, and Journey.
Wow.
Yeah. So
was Steve Smith playing at the time?
No, it was Dean Castronovo.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, he was like, "Once I come off, give me 5 minutes, and then go to this door, and say you're with me." And they gave me a AAA, and we hung out the back of the SEC for like an hour, and he had just come off the stage.
Wow.
Yeah, super cool, man. Just we actually missed Foreigner's set.
Wow.
We were talking rubbish about drums for that long, and we had never met each other before.
That's crazy.
We had only ever had email correspondence. So that's who he is.
Yeah. He's that guy.
Yeah, he's just the nicest guy, man. He's so genuine. And then we put him on in clinic. Like 8 years later, it came good. And
did he remember?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. He was super cool, man. So yeah, he's just the loveliest dude. So
he seems like it. And that's why I'd be really keen to meet him, because he just seems like apart from anything else, obviously an outrageous player.
Aye.
But like just a genuinely really nice,
different class,
nice guy. Yeah.
Maybe the best clinic we've ever put on.
Oh really?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
A couple of people certainly.
Yeah.
It was very, very good. He's just dead easy to work with. No dramas, no egos. Just knows why he's there and has the best attitude. He's just the most positive person.
Yeah.
It helps, and he, like, don't get me wrong. He flies everywhere, so he's all over the world all the time, and he's always positive.
Yeah.
It's amazing, So yeah, if we can get him,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Make it happen. Make it so.
I'll try.
Just keep messaging him. Hey Todd, what are you up to?
Totally.
Hey Todd,
what are you doing on Friday?
What are you doing Friday? Do you want to come to my gig? Need a dep, mate. you free?
It's in Stirling. £200. First dance is Ed Sheeran.
Do you know Loch Lomond?
Aye. I'll send you a dep recording. Anyway, moving on.
Do you need a lift? Sorry. I love the hypothetical Todd Zuckerman doing a Scottish wedding dep gig. Love it.
The bass player will get you at the service station.
So it's been a pretty big year. Obviously we've done a few trips as well.
I was going to say, you did your first trip.
And it was a very, very good one as well.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Paul and Gordon went to Istanbul.
That's right. Correct, Mundo.
And
I think that was all for trips this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, we only went a couple this year.
I don't think.
Yes, we only did 2 trips this year.
I'm trying to think if Pearl did the boat trip, but they didn't. Well, oh no, I went to Germany. I'm sure, was it? No, that was last year. God, I don't even know where I am. Like emails.
Who am I?
Emails was last year. No, Pearl didn't do one this year. That's right.
Yeah, but then I suppose a trip kind of was UK Drum Show.
Yeah, it was. I was a riot.
Says the broken man.
Oh, yeah, man. 2 days of mania.
Yeah.
2 days of mania. 3 days of mania. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good fun though.
It's been a good year, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's been a good year.
It has been.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. Well, obviously, hang on. We've glossed over the fact that we've now started this. We've got a podcast.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
This is episode 10.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems to be getting received okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
People that listen to it seem to like your podcast, bro.
Nice podcast, bro.
Thanks, friend.
Thank you.
We had a customer in today who was buying our Yamaha kit, and he's been listening to it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, he
cool.
mentioned that. So, yeah. In fact, 2 people today mentioned it.
Great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Helps.
It does help, you know.
Every little bit helps, as
Yeah.
Tesco say.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, well, this is the last episode of the year, really.
Yeah.
And if we want to break it into seasons, this is season 1 coming to a close.
Guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've already recorded episode 1 of season 2, which we will put out in January.
January. Yes. Are we going to reveal who it was?
No,
Keep it. Okay.
Yeah. And we're pipelining others. I need to get my finger out and actually confirm dates for some people.
Yes. If there's anyone you would like to see on or hear on the podcast
Yeah.
that we can realistically make happen, I will pretense with that. Let us know.
Yeah, like don't say Vinny.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
that's pretty impossible.
Todd Zuckerman, you free for a podcast, mate?
Totally. So yeah, if there's anything you want us to talk about as well, because we did say that we would cover topics, and we've done that many interviews that we've not really covered topics as
Yeah.
such. You know, we haven't gone in deep to anything.
Yeah. Except for gear. Like we've
Yeah, but
we've went deep about gear at least 3 times. But that's a shot, baby.
But yeah, I mean, what I mean is if you want us to talk about ride symbols,
Yeah.
we will talk about ride symbols. You know what I mean? It's fine. You know, if you want us to talk about other things.
I'll do anything, Chris, if the price is right.
Oh, there you are.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you've heard it here first.
You did hear it here first.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you to all those that have shopped with us this year.
Yes.
And you know, being patient with us as we open a new shop and move the existing shop.
Still pretty wild to think about that.
Yeah. And yeah, like we said, if there's anything you want to check us out with, that sentence didn't make any sense. If there's anything you want us to talk about or check out for you,
Yes.
we can do that. Drop us a line. Where's the lines, Adam? Where
The lines are, well, bring us home.
Mm-hmm.
Bring us home. Okay, so you can find us all over the socials. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Drummers Only UK. Make sure you hook yourself up with some very, 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 very last minute Christmas goodies over on drummersonly.co.uk. Make sure you come and visit us in Leeds, Unit 1, Springwell Point.
Springwell Road.
Thank you.
That's 2 in a row.
Twice, 2 in a row. Springwell Road in Leeds, LS12 1AF.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can come and visit the Glasgow showroom. Saved it. Unit 4, Weardale Lane, Queensley Park, Glasgow, G33 4JJ.
There you are.
You can drop us an email at info@drummersonly.co.uk or leads@drummersonly.co.uk. You could send us a letter if you want. You can
Send it out an SOS.
send us SOS. Please, somebody help me. It's not healthy. Name that song, Christopher.
Please, somebody help me. That's not healthy. Don't know.
Don't know. Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It's Rihanna.
Oh, okay. Then I wouldn't know.
Of course, because you only listen to jazz. So.
Yeah.
Oh, we got there. Oh, went through the full episode. Make sure you come by the Leeds shop. Make sure you come by the Glasgow shop. Hit us up if you've got any questions. Maybe you'd like to order yourself a brand new SQ2 to start off 2020.
Yeah.
Maybe you would like to hook yourself up with some SJC.
Yes.
EAD
EAD.
EAD10, of course, yes. Or maybe even you just want to come in and say hello. Biscuits are not essential, but they are very welcome.
They
So
might soften the blow on the price that you have to. No, I'm joking.
remember that time?
I won't.
And yeah, of course, if you got any questions, anything you would like to know or order or like to talk about, come and see us.
Yes.
Get in touch.
Please do.
And have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes. Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, team.
Yes, and we'll see you in 2020.
Bye now.
Bye bye.